Welcome to the Paul Chandler Show, everyone. I'm your host, Paul Chandler. In tonight's episode, we're going to be doing another one on time management, but expanding a little bit more on our previous episode on this topic. So the last time we had an episode on time management, I went through, I had an op report on my screen, a case study, if you will. And it did take me more than 2 minutes to work out that case study, but I was actually following along and explaining out loud what I was doing as I was doing it. So that way it took me more than 2 minutes. However, though, on the CPC, or the Certified Professional Coder exam with the AAPC, it's still good for time management to try to balance it out at 2 minutes per question. So in tonight's episode, then I'll be working out 3 different op reports. So I have 3 case studies that I'll be doing, and I'll be taking at most 2 minutes each. So if you'd like to, though, pause this video and look down in the description, and there'll be a link to a PDF that you can download. Print it out if you can, so then that way, as I'm working it on the screen, you can follow along on your paper as well. So stay tuned, and again, pause this video if you need to be able to download that link for the PDF in the description, and we'll start when we come back. So we'll be right back after this little opening sequence. Welcome back, everyone. And in this episode, I'm going to be working on 3 separate multiple choice questions that are ones you can typically find on the CPC exam. And on to the left side of my screen here, I have a timer at 6 minutes. Because with the CPC exam, 5 hours and 40 minutes, 150 questions, that narrows it down to 2 minutes and 15 seconds per question. However, though, I always recommend that try to narrow it down to 2 minutes a question, because knock it down to 2 minutes a question, then you will have 37.5 minutes buffer time at the end, because some questions will take you longer than others. And that'll also give you plenty of time for copying over your answers onto your Scantron if you're in the paper version. So, and here I have Microsoft Word. And you can see there's kind of red wavy lines under some words. That's because they're big fancy medical words. But so here I have 3 different questions on my screen, 1, 2, and 3. There's 1 question on each page. And once I hit the timer start button, that is preset, as you see on the screen, to 6 minutes. And then I'm gonna be working each question, showing you how I would quote unquote attack the question. And I'm gonna keep on going until I finish all 3. And after that, I'll stop the timer and see how I did. And hopefully I did less than 2 minutes per question on that. So, and if you would like to also follow along, and here we go. Okay, so looking at here, I have a question that is more than 2 lines. So I like to start working the multiple choices out. And as far as common similarities, we have 11,441 modifier 51 in there 3 times. So I'm not liking delta right off the, there we go, Charlie. I'm not liking delta right off the bat because it's missing 1144 modifier 51. And we have 12,051 in there twice, and D20. Okay, so I'm going to start out, and I'm going to look up 12,051 first in the CPT book. 12,051 in intermediate repair. So scanning and closed in layers. So that I need, because a simple repair is not that, and complex repair, okay, location, left jaw line. So 12,051 face jaw line. So 12,051 works. And I'm gonna just, in this case, 441, make sure that one works also. 11, excision, 0.6 to 1, excision benign. The diagnosis is unknown, so that's why we would go with benign, because we do not know if it is malignant. So that would make Charlie the right answer there. And scrolling down, okay, oh, this is a doozy. Okay, let's see. Well, 15100 has to be right because it's in all 4 options. 11603 modifier LT51 is in there 3 times, so I'm not liking Charlie because it does not have that one. And 15002 is in there twice. So right now I'm liking alpha because it has only 3 codes. Okay, so I know 15100 has to be right, so I'm gonna look at 11603. 11603, excision malignant lesion, 2.1 to 3 centimeters on different locations. So description of procedure. Squamous cell, so that would tell us the on the malignant side, trunk, arms, or legs. So I like that. Open wound, left leg, I like that also. So I like 11603 because it's squamous cell carcinoma left leg in the diagnosis. So ergo, that's what has to be on the procedure. And excision, left leg with excision diameter 2.5 centimeters. Okay, so that's good. And then 15002, surgical preparation, recipient, SIPA open wounds, trunk, arms, or legs. And excision repair with split thickness graft. So that is good. So that would make alpha the right answer there. And the next one, not as long, but only got 1 CPT code each. So I'm liking alpha and Charlie because alpha and Charlie are 2 codes that are really close to one another. So that's what I'm gonna look up first. I'm gonna look up 23616. Let's see, 23616. And if that's not it, then I'm gonna look up 23615, even though it's going from alpha to Charlie, but it's 1 code down in my book. So 23616. 23616, where did you go? 23616. Open with proximal humerus prosthetic replacement and open treatment of proximal humeral fracture. So I'm looking for the word humerus and something about a prosthetic replacement or not. Left proximal humerus fracture, so I like that. And was anything put in? And an implant. Trial reduction was carried out with the DuPont trial stem and implant head. I'm liking how that looks. I'm liking how that looks. And the implant was placed. Whoop, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have the prosthetic humeral, the proximal humeral prosthetic implant. So that would make alpha the right answer. And 20 seconds left. Oh, they just jumped from 20 to 17 on my screen. So that was a really, really quick, oh gosh, no, that was a quick 6 minutes. And so what I'm gonna do right quick is actually just go over, and there we go. So I'm gonna go back now though and explain a little bit slower why I was working with those. So why I like, again, Charlie. So I did was I had 1144 modifier 51 in there
3 times. That made me not like delta. So I'm just going to grade that one out. And then I was liking Charlie next, because even though I eliminated out delta, though it has 12051 is Charlie and delta, but also that D22.39 is Charlie and delta. So that's why it made me liking delta, because the first CPT code and the diagnosis code was in there twice. So then that's why that's the first code that I looked up, was on the Charlie route. So that's just going process elimination sooner rather than later. And then in the second option, how the first code 15100 had been there. Well, it is in there all 4 times, so that had to be correct. And then 11603 was in there 3 times. And then 15002 is in there twice. So that's why I was liking Alpha and Bravo, because of the 11603 and the 15002. It was in both those options twice. And then why I was really leaning towards Alpha is because Bravo had the 15100 in there twice, and I did not like how that looked. So that's why I started focusing on Alpha to begin with, and that was the right answer. And then in the last one, we just have one CPT to work with. And looking at the ABCD options, if I focused on Alpha and Charlie, these 2 codes numerically are really close to one another. So then that way it's less time to look up codes in the book. So, and when I have a situation like this, I go Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta in order, meaning 23616, even though that numerically is second, I focused on it first, because I go in ABCD order, so that way I don't get out of misplace and forget which one I'm looking at. So with those 2 codes, 23616 being the first code in the Alpha and Charlie options, and I scanned the keywords that I needed for the proximal humerus fracture and the implant, and that gave me that code there. So you can see that, and with these cases, the first question was, what, 5 lines, just a paragraph. The second one was a big op report, and I'll admit during that op report, all of this, I have absolutely no clue what it says. Didn't look at it at all. I just looked at the pre and post-op diagnosis, tell me what the locations, and the procedures at the bottom. And then this case here, I don't know, 12, 14 lines or so. And all that I cared about was the highlighted part there. So I hope this helps in process elimination and working on time management and knocking out your CPC exam questions in 2 minutes or less.
Thank you for taking your time out just now, 6 minutes for 3 case studies, to watch how I mastered the time management aspect for the CPC exam. And those techniques that we covered on the previous episode on time management and on tonight's episode as well, if you just do that 150 times within that 5 hours and 40 minutes, then you can pass the CPC exam on the time management part of it. But now, just like always, we love to hear what viewers like to see as topics for the show. So please visit thepaulchandlershow.com. Up on the top of the page, underneath the video up on top of our latest episode, there's a little button there that you can click where you can just suggest a topic that you'd like to see here on the show. So just let us know, and then shortly after, you'll see it on the air. So again, thank you for watching this episode of The Paul Chandler Show, and have an awesome rest of your night.